So guys, today we are back at Mike's place, and as we earlier mentioned that we'll be back with section 2 of beehive making, and we want to know which kind of materials does he use and how does he make the hives and at what price does he sell the hives. So stay tuned and let's go through this. And Mike, welcome to Andrea TV Kenya.
Thank you.
And so we want to know how you make these hives, where you got the knowledge to make them, and how much do they sell, so that whenever everybody is interested can come and reach you for more.
Okay.
So we'll just start. Tatuambia hii ni gani, which one is which, and how they are made.
Okay. Thank you, guys. This is Mike, and today, like I promised last time, I'm going to explain to you much about these two type of hives that you can see in front of me. Now, this first one, this one is called top bar hive. The reason why it's called a top bar is because of this kind of bars. It has this type of frames, this type of bars that seem not to be so complete as in zile extra frames. Then this is referred to as a queen excluder. With this one, ukiweka hapa ndani, usually it prevents the queen from accessing the super. Now this box is divided into two sections. We have the brood section, this side, that has an entrance. The entrance is down here. This is the entrance. So bees will come in, get into this hole. Then they'll occupy this first space. And then this other section is where they will make the honey. This section also has 10 frames. It can have 10 up to 15 frames, depending on the number that you want to have. So before you set it out so that you attract bees, you must ensure that the frames are waxed. So these are waxed frames, as you can see. The wax is still fresh. As you can see, it's fresh. And this type of hive now is ready for trapping bees. This one now you can set it out, maybe in your apiary, ama unaipeleka pale nje, you put it on higher ground, and you'll be able to catch a swarm. Especially now that we're in a swarming season, it's easier for you to trap a moving swarm with this kind of hive. Then behind me here, this other one is a Langstroth hive. This one is divided into two sections. Sorry. This is called the brood section of a Langstroth. It has an entrance over here. This is where bees will come in through. They'll occupy this section. This is where they live. This is where they'll build their colony. And when they are done building colonies, that should take about them about a month to around 4 months, depending on where, depending on the area, depending on the vegetation within the area, and the much food that they can collect. They'll use that's pollen, that's nectar, that's what they'll use to build their combs and to build their colony. Now after they are done building the colony here, then after a month, once as a farmer, once they have built, wakati zimesha build about 7 frames, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So once they have built about 7 frames, That should take them about a month. Then utachukua super, this is called the super box. You get your super and you place it on top of the brood. So once you cover it, they will build the remaining 3 frames, and then they will start building honey in these frames, in the super frames. They'll build their honey for about 2 months to 3 months. In fact, they'll build it for about 2 months, then they'll fan it in the remaining 1 month, and then cap it so that it's sealed completely. After that, utakuja and harvest your honey. Your honey will be ready for harvest at that time. So when you're harvesting, if you have a centrifugal, this frame is standard. Utachukua tu hii frame. Once you've harvested, insert it in your centrifugal machine, then you harvest it. Unazungusha centrifugal, inatoa honey, the combs zitabaki kama ziko stuck kwa frame. Utarudisha hiyo frame ikiwa hivyo na combs inside your super box, and then bees will again fill it with honey, so that the next time you come, you can easily harvest your honey that will be made in the super box. So this box is divided into 2. It has the brood section that has bigger frames than the super section. Then it also has a lid. The essence of kuweka this type of plywood board inside the frame is to help in regulating heat inside the box, balancing the heat that is outside and the one that is inside, so that because unajua hii mabati inashika joto haraka. So hii board ikiwa ndani, then it means that ile joto haitapita through. Ni kama tu kujenga nyumba alafu unaweka ceiling board. That is the essence of the board. Now, these are the 2 types of hives that are found in my farm. They are the 2 types of hives that I'm currently making. And for this one, usually when we make it, we sell it for 4,500. And the topper, we sell it for 4,000 shillings.
So does they have specific measurements?
Yes.
Just approximate?
Yes. We use, for the top bar and the langstroth, we use dried gravelia trees. That is the wood that we use for this. And usually, unaweza uliza pale nje, mbona hives zingine zinauzwa for 3,500, zingine zinauzwa 5,000, zingine zinauzwa up to 6 or 10,000. Usually, it is the wood. The quality of wood that is used is what determines the price. It is good to use softwood when building hives than use hardwood. Mbao yoyote inaweza tengeneza hive, lakini it's good to know the correct type of wood. The best type of wood for building hives usually is cypress or pine or gravelia or any other type of softwood out there. It's better than hardwood, because hizi hardwood, most of them zinakwanga na a certain type of scent that is not pleasant to bees. So unaweza kuwa uko pale na brood, uko pale na hive, na unaona kama uko na hives kadhaa, lakini kuna zile zenye they have never been colonized and you don't know why. That could be one of the reasons. Now for this type of boxes, for example this one, if you want to build your own, then the measurements we use here, you take For length, we use 20 inches. For width, 16 inches. Can be 14, can be 16, can be 18, depending on the size that you want. But for standard, usually it's 20 by 16. Same to the, this is for the super and same for the brood, so that they can be aligned ndio zitoshane. The wood, the super section, mbao yake usually it's 6'1" for standard. Small brood, I mean small or medium hive, 6'1", and then the brood, it's 8'1" type of wood. Brood, for larger broods, unaweza tumia 8'1" as the minimum, 10'1" ama 12'1". Bigger broods means that bees will take longer to build because the broods are bigger. But the good thing about the bigger broods is that once nyuki imefill the entire space pale chini, once zimefill hapa ndani yote, they'll take longer, yes, but once zimefill, then building honey kwa super zitajenga haraka. So if you're going to do for your own purposes, you can mix. Unaweza weka pale kwa apiary yako, unakuwa na deep roots na pia una mix na zingine unakuwa na shallow. The good thing about shallow is that you will harvest honey haraka because the supers are shallow, they're shallower, and bees zitajenga honey haraka pale kwa super box. When we come back to the top bar, now this one usually ukitengeneza unaweza the length side utatengeneza na 36 minimum, 36 inches to a maximum of around 42. And then this width is about 16 inches. But the width will determine usually the size in terms of wideness. This V-shaped thing, section, hii ndio ina determine the wideness of the brood, or rather of the box, because kama hii section ni longer, inamaanisha that this side, this section pia itakuwa wider. So this is 36, kama hii yangu niliweka 36 by 16 for the sides. Then the downer section, that's the bottom section, is 38 inches. The reason why this one is 38, because kuna ile landing board at the entrance whereby nyuki zikikuja zina land before ziingie ndani ya brood ama ndani ya box. The advantage of these boxes, of course, is they both have advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of top bar over the Langstroth, number one, is that top bar inaweza tengeneza nyuki zinaweza tengeneza a lot of honey kwa top bar over Langstroth. Number two, top bar, constructing a top bar is easier than constructing a Langstroth. The disadvantage that it has, one of the disadvantages, is that bees tend to take a longer time to build in the top bar, depending on the number of frames that you have, and then depending also on the size of the box that umeweka. Kama box ni kubwa, then they'll take longer. Kama frames ni mingi, kama hauja balance the frames vizuri kwa nini, kwa box, zitachukua longer. Unaweza weka 10 frames huku ama 12 frames kwa section. The first section ya brood, na weke the other side 11 frames or also 13 frames, or you can balance. For me, I balanced. The brood section niliweka 10 frames, and the super section pia nikaweka another 10 frames. So for me, I balanced so that bees can take a shorter time to build both on the brood side and on the super side. Now, another disadvantage for this box is that when you're harvesting honey, you'll be forced to cut the combs. So bees will take another longer time to build honeycombs. When you're harvesting in this box, remember, do not harvest inside your brood. You go to the super, take what is in the super, and leave what is in the brood. Ukiharvest huku kwa brood, you are going to contaminate your honey. Number 2, bees can easily leave your box because umeinterfere in life yao completely. You killed their children, you've done a mess. So you basically just harvest the other section, and then these ones zenye ziko huku kwa brood unawachana nayo. Hiyo ni yao ya kukula, hiyo ni yao ya kusurvive na watoto wao. They will definitely build again honey in the super because zita realize they don't have food in the store. So zitaenda kutengeneza honey tena wapi? Ukule kwa storage, uko kwa super. Now if we come back to this other hive one more time, the advantage of this one over that one, this one is a modern hive, the second generation of the in fact it's a third generation of the top bar. The first generation of this type of bar or of this type of hive ilikuanga the log hive. Today we no longer have log hives because kwa log hive it was difficult for a farmer to separate between honey, good honey, and honey that has been mixed with the brood. Okay, so that's why the Kenya top bar was designed in a way that it would be easier to separate a brood from the super by the use of a queen excluder. This is a queen excluder. This is what prevents the queen from getting into the super section. Now for this one, like I said, this one is the third generation of the top bar. This one was designed by an American called L.L. Langston. He's the one who came up with this design of a box way back in 1821. This box, usually bees will come in, bees will build, like I said, they'll build in here, take a month to 4 months building their combs, then they'll make their honey here. The advantage of this kind of box over that one is that if you have a centrifugal machine ni kama kandoo, but iko na nini frames iko na machuma ndani, but kazi yake ni ya kuharvest honey from this kind of frames. So if you have a centrifugal machine, usually you will insert these frames inside. Centrifugal machines zinabeba from 2 frames to around I think 8 frames the maximum. So unaingiza hizi frames ndani 2 ama 3 and then unazungusha tu. It's a job, yes. Utaizungusha, itatoa honey. Ishatoa honey from the frames. Hizi frames zitabaki na combs zenye honey, zenye nyuki imejenga huku na this other side. The essence of having these wires here is just to hold the combs together. To hold the combs so that zisianguke, so that zisivunjike also. So that's the essence of these wires. These wires ziko both inside the brood and huku kwa super. They also look like this. So that is the main advantage. And then another thing is that nyuki zitajenga zitabuild honey, zitatengeneza honey haraka when you're using this kind of box over the top bar. Yeah, I think I've answered most of the questions that you asked.
And I say they are painted yellow. Is there any essence of painting?
Well, usually we paint boxes. There is no choice of color sana, but as long as you paint bright colors, those are colors that are easily attracted to bees. Those are the ones we use. You can use white, you can use yellow, green, blue. Those ones, bees can easily notice them. Unaweza hata weka pink ukitaka, it doesn't matter. Unaweka tu color, it's appealing to you, but it's good to have you to use bright colors. Yes.
Okay.
And then last time niliwaambia, I'll show you an example of a byproduct. This is wax. It's not so clean, but this is wax. It's a byproduct of the bees. So once you harvested honey, ukitoka kwa topper, ukishakata combs, usitupe hiyo remains yenye ukishatoa, then hiyo nini nabaki. Usitupe hizo combs. Those combs are the ones that you render them, or rather you process them. Kizi process, then you'll make this kind of a byproduct. Hii ni ndogo nilitengeneza, nimeshaitumia, imebaki just a piece. This one is not even, this one is around 100 grams. Yenye imebaki just around 100 grams in terms of weight. Hii ndio nime melt tena. Hii ndio tena unatumia kama swarm lure. Hii ndio tena unapaka kwa frames. So ndio nimepaka kwa these frames, ndio nimepaka kwa frames za huko, so that I can again set this one up, so that I trap bees again. Now, one more thing to add, nilikuwa nasahau, is that usually when you're purchasing these boxes, I said we make Langstroth, we make top bars, and then we also make catcher boxes. Catcher box ni box ndogo. It's like a Langstroth, but it only has the brood section. Hiyo ni ndogo. Usually it carries about 5 to 6 frames. The work of a catcher box is to trap swarms, bee swarms. That's the work of a catcher box. Unaiweka pale nje. If you have it, you trap swarms. Then you transfer the colonies to your designated apiary penye kuna boxes zako, penye kuna hives zako. That's where you go get the frames from the catcher box. Unaweka huku kwa nini, kwa brood ya boxes zako, then you take the other frames huku kwa brood, then ziko empty, unarudisha huku kwa catcher box. Now ukishafanya hivyo, don't take the catcher box away from the hive immediately. Ati wewe umesha transfer kama mtu ana transfer maji kwa ndoo nyingine, then unaenda. Leave that catcher box there for about a week, so that the bees that are still in the catcher box can easily occupy their new home. After that, toa hiyo catcher box pale. Now unaweza irudisha kule penye ulitrap that wild colony. Another mistake new beekeepers make sometimes you may not be told this in class, that when you're trapping a swarm, usiende pale umepata a wild colony on top of a tree, that you go and cut it down, that you go with a gunia, umeenda unaitoanisha pale kwa mti penye naishi. No, that wild colony's residence. Hapo ndo penye naishi. Don't do that. Just take your catcher boxes or take your brood boxes, enda pale, funga your boxes on the tree, hang them. That colony that unaona iko pale juu ya mti, it can split more than 1,000 times. So that would be your mother colony. That will be your mother colony. Hiyo ndio itakuwa ina split, inaingia kwa box yako. Ikiingia kwa box, give that box about 2 weeks or 1 month, ishukishe kwa mti, transfer it to your apiary. Bring another box, weka pale. So you just be doing that every time, and you will find that your boxes will be colonized. All your boxes will be colonized. But if you can't do that, you don't have a wild colony, but maybe your home ama your apiary is a flight path. Flight path ni pale penye nyuki zinapitanga frequently when there is a swarming season kama saizi. What you do is that set your boxes on higher ground. Weka pale juu ya mti ama weka mahali penye it's a bit higher, so that when a moving swarm is passing, they can easily sense your box. They can easily smell that wax that was smeared on the frames. That's what you do. But usiende ukikata ile colony yenye kwa mstuni umekuja kuweka kwa box, out of 100%, I can assure you that 90% of the chances that colony will not stay in that box. In fact, 99% of the chances haitaishi hapo, itarudi huko kuloliitoa, and you may never catch that swarm. So you just follow my instructions, follow my advice. That way utakuwa na colony, utakuwa na bees. That is for both new beekeepers and existing beekeepers who actually maybe they don't know how this thing is done. That's what I can tell you. But this kind of farming is very interesting. Once umeanza, toka kwa class. Tafadhali, my fellow farmers, toka kwa class, toka kwa mambo ya this is what I was taught in class. This is how it's supposed to be. Beekeeping ni groundwork. Beekeeping ni wewe kuassociate na the bees. Learn your bees, know them. Know how they behave. That way you'll understand their needs every day. But it's a very interesting type of farming. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. It was a nice session, and hoping to meet next time. I think next time will we be harvesting ama?
Yeah, next time we will again shoot another video when we'll be harvesting in a month or 2 months time.
Yeah,
we'll be harvesting. Now, for if in case you want to reach me for more advice, you want to reach me for these boxes, you can call me. My number is 0700 41 92 29. I'll repeat. My number is 0700 419 229. Thank you.